Welcome to self-discoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Your Health is Your Choice, right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I am joined by two lovely ladies, Marion Baker, this is her third time with me, and Sarah Lovely. Yes, Sarah Lovely. So she must be the lovely Sarah. I'm sure she gets that a great deal. We're going to be talking about frequency changed nutrition for the life you love to live. What is this? We're going to find out all about it today. The frequency community is the first to offer amazing frequency charged nutrition and is helping many people change their lives with great benefits on their products. Their signature product has 7 organic mushrooms and cordyceps, which are brilliant, by the way, plus 11 healing harmonic frequencies. Because of these frequencies, many clients are reporting immediate results: more energy, better focus, better mood, and more. Beyond this and other fantastic products Frequency offers, there is also much bigger vision that will help people with their physical and mental health. Epstein said that the future medicine will be frequencies, and that future is here now. Marion Baker is a registered therapist and helped many people with their mental health over the last 14 years and is passionate about helping people grow and heal their pain. She also came across the nutritional product with harmonic frequency that she saw that was helping so many people, so she couldn't help but jump on board. Sarah Lovely is a seasonal leader in network marketing industry with over a decade experience and approximately 800 personal recruits. Sarah has built a reputation of leading with integrity, fostering trust, cultivating a team leader rooted in shared values. One of her many strengths is a mindset coaching, and she's passionate about helping others succeed in tapping in to the power of their mind. And as I said, Marion, we've done some shows before, going back to 2014 and then one more recently. So please go back and listen to those. Everything will be on the show page. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Great to
Nice
have
to
you
see you
both
again.
here. Frequencies, I know, is something I talk about a great deal in many of my shows because we're all vibing at a different frequency. And the higher the frequency, not only the healthier, but the happier and the more soul, heart, and spirit attached we are. And having frequencies in our nutrition, and of course, cordyceps, we are going to have to get into that because I know how brilliant they are. But frequency is something that people don't understand. They think when we talk about energy, it's just something you plug in. And they don't understand that there's frequencies running through our body all the time. And when we turn the volume up on that, that's when we are healthier, mind, body, heart, and soul. So, Marion, I'm going to jump in with you because I know that you love this topic, but also you've recently joined this company. And so, why did you? What spoke to you about it?
Well, I mean, Sarah, everything you just said, for starters, I know that everybody's on mushrooms these days. So I was like, okay, mushrooms are great. And I was taking my own mushrooms. And then I heard about frequencies. And I know, I know enough about frequencies just to be dangerous. But I heard that Einstein said, the future of medicine is frequencies. And that really made me go ding, ding, ding. So I delved a little further and I looked at the benefit or the results that people were getting in this company. And I was like, okay, sign me up. Sign me up.
Mm. Hmm.
Yeah.
And of course, Sarah, being multi-level marketing, you're one that has recruited her, and you've obviously been in it for a while. So, what got you involved in it?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here. This is exciting, and this is one of the conversations that I love to have so much. And why I was attracted to Frequence initially actually had nothing to do with the frequencies, which I knew nothing about. And I will tell you, I still don't know a lot about it. It is a big, but I'm learning and I'm excited. And I really didn't know anything about mushrooms either. I feel like I'd lived a little bit in the dark on both those subjects. But what attracted me to this company was their mission to change the conversation around mental health at a global level. Their hearts, their passion, their story of why they created this product, the first ever frequency in nutrition product to the marketplace. Mushrooms have been done forever, frequencies have been around forever, but never have they combined the two. But I was initially, Sarah, really attracted to the CEOs and the corporate team, to their mission around mental health and changing that conversation. And the products are a vehicle to help people have high impact, but also a vehicle to get the message out around mental health and how we need to address that and normalize the conversation.
Yes, normalize the conversation for sure.
Here,
People don't
here.
actually understand physical health comes from mental health. And, people think that, oh, somebody's got cancer, somebody's got this autoimmune disease. This all starts with the mental health. Because when the mental health is optimized, when you are well-beinged, your body will function better. But people don't understand that when we get dis-ease in our body, it creates disease. And that means because our body is fluid, it has to move. The oxygen in our body, the frequency in our body, the blood in our body, the water in our body must constantly be in flow. And when it's not in flow and it's stagnant and it stops, that's when we get that dis-ease. And our mental aspect of who we are, if we're in stress, because stress has become the number one killer because it produces the diseases. So if we can manage the stress, the depression, the anxiety, which we're seeing rampant right now because of just what's going on in the world, and we don't know how to take it on without it taking us over. We really need to kind of have our mental health really paid attention to, because it will ripple down to our body. Hey, Marion?
Absolutely. And I actually am just learning a little bit more about a third component, like your mental health, your physical health, all of it is connected. And I've just read a couple of books. One of them is called Eat Dirt, and the other one is called The Mitochondriac Manifesto. And they both are on a similar platform, which is getting back to earthing or grounding, like getting your feet in the dirt, getting your hands dirty, lying on the grass, getting out in the sun more. Because one of the fellows says, beyond what you eat, beyond how you exercise, beyond sitting in the red and sauna, for an hour on Wednesdays, you need to get your mitochondria in check. And so the guy that wrote Eat Dirt is like, eat mushrooms.
Yes. Well, where do mushrooms grow? But in the
Right.
dirt.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. They grow in dirt. So yeah, it's so nuanced, and all of it is really affecting each other. And I just found out recently that one of the frequencies in the Frequence product is earthing. Is it, Sarah, is it earthing or grounding?
Grounding.
Grounding. Yeah, so same. So it's what these fellas are talking about. So it's kind of sneaking in a little extra added component there.
What do you have to say to that, Sarah?
So I already love this whole conversation so much. I'm so glad to be here. And one of the things that Sarah said that I just wanted to backtrack for a split second to touch on is that stress is the number one killer, right? But what is stress really? Where does it come from? Are we really being chased by tigers? We're not.
Yes.
But our thinking, it's all about our thinking. The stress is, sure, some of it is really happening, but it's what we're focusing on and what we're thinking about. And are we living in worry, doubt, fear, guilt, shame, all those things that vibe at a low frequency? Or are we thinking about joy, alignment, authenticity, love, all those things at this high vibration? And one of the things that this product has done for me and many others, and I'm new at learning all of this, is because of the 11 harmonic frequencies that are embedded in the 7 mushroom blend, and one of them being earthing and the others being immune system and our vital organs to put them into balance, is that we are suddenly noticing, many of us, that we have that helping hand up to stay in that better vibration. It's not easy to stay in a good vibration nowadays. We can get there in the morning for 30 minutes when we're doing our work. But what happens when we leave that sacred space and go into our world and look at our bank accounts and bump into people or have our husbands or our kids or our health crisis in life? then where do we go? We go from here back to here, and sometimes we stay there the rest of the day or longer. And so this product is helping people to level themselves into a good vibration and stay there longer. It's a
Yeah.
fabulous tool. Yeah.
Mushrooms have long been around, and gosh, about 30 years ago, I was with an MLM where cordyceps were discovered, and there was a team out of Africa. I can't remember. Uganda or somewhere, I'm not quite sure where, and they won everything they went into, running this, that, etc. And they thought, well, they must be doping, right? And when they looked at, they found out they were taking cordyceps, right? And then cordyceps is a natural product. So it was completely, but from there became the conversation of cordyceps. And cordyceps are only grown at certain places at high levels. And it was actually discovered by shepherds noticing that, you know, their cattle were eating it, and the benefits that it has. Cordyceps alone, never mind any of the other mushrooms with all the benefits they've got, is incredible. High oxidation, really opens up your mind. I'm an asthmatic. When I was taking the cordyceps, suddenly I'm being able to run after my children. Right. And my husband was at the time was absolutely mind boggled. Like, you haven't been able to do that, not without an asthma attack. It's absolutely brilliant for the lungs. And there's so many other, you know, things about cordyceps that we haven't even scratched the surface on of what it can do. So the one mushroom alone has such high benefits.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, in this product, there are 7 organic non-GMO mushrooms and cordyceps. So lion's mane, turkey tail, chaga, reishi, all, you know, and more. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying about the energy that you get. Because after I was going through menopause, my energy was really in the tank, and so was my brain fog.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the one benefit that I noticed right away was more energy, more focus, better mood. And I didn't even know my mood needed lifting. And so I was like feeling better. And I think my biggest aha moment was when I came down the stairs one morning after a good night's sleep, and my house was clean. And I'm here by myself. So like, what happened? So, you know, all those little moments that I normally would be taking a rest or sitting on the couch, I guess I was cleaning my house and didn't even realize.
That's a really good side benefit, isn't
It
it?
was,
Like, you don't even realize you've cleaned your house.
I know.
Well,
You know, back to the kind of the mental health, but the physical health. I mean, yes, when I was on the cordyceps, it helped my asthma and everything else, but the clarity of mind. But I think that a lot of people address mind all the time, mind over matter. And the mind is kind of the first place that we go, because unless we're willing to have an open mind to things, we can't absorb the wisdom that is given to us. Like, we're not even going to take any of these products unless the mind is open enough to understand the benefits it can have. So the mind is the gatekeeper to everything else. But if we bring the heart and the soul into the mind, and I always call it the knowingness, you know, it's when the soul's wisdom, which is your compass, your clarity, is given to your heart and truth, given to your spirit and action for your mind to have the clarity it needs when it needs to have it. And when we bring that into the equation as well, not just the head, yes, but how does the heart feel? How does the spirit feel? How, you know, what is that other wisdom that's trying to penetrate here feel? And it's like, give things a try, because until you give them a try, you're not going to know if they're going to work or not. You can argue as much as you possibly can, but the proof is in the pudding. Sarah?
I love that. And one of the things that I've noticed here, and Marion has as well, and so many of us, is that people are really willing and
Mm-hmm.
open-minded to look at this. Now, I think it's a couple reasons. I think one is that this has never been done before. So it's like curiosity gets people like, what? You've got frequencies inside, you're drinking the hot, what they want to look. It's never been done. So it's what we call a blue ocean product. We don't have the best frequency charged nutrition on the planet. We right now have the only.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not in a world of convincing people ours is the best. We're showing people, do you want to see this? It's new. It's never been done. So there's a high level of curiosity. But I also feel that the world was, I truly feel this. In 7 months, we've been in this company, and I've been in this profession full time for 15 years. I have never felt such alignment and so many people just saying, I just felt like it was right to try it. I had this instinct. I had a feeling. I heard a message. I just felt it was right to do that. I wish that I had tracked every time someone said that to me. I've really never heard that, very rarely in my 15 years, and certainly not so many times. So I feel like you touched on it in the beginning, Sarah, the crisis that we are in with mental health right now, and how many people are suffering and how many young people are suffering. And it's across the board. It's almost everybody.
Yeah.
I feel like the world was ready for frequency charged
Yes.
nutrition, and they didn't even really know it. And that it's come, it's quantum leap. It's come without time or space. It's just landed, and people were pre-ready for it. And they're saying, yes, I need this and I want to look at this. And that is exciting to me because I feel like I have a purpose and I'm on a mission. You know what? At 57 years old, and I'm an empty nester, and I've been in this profession I've been a salesperson for a long time. To be in something that I'm fully aligned with and feel that there's a purpose, a bigger picture here than just sell a product and maybe that there's a movement, to be a part of this movement, and that people are just going, yes, please, yes, please, yes, please. I mean, not everybody, but it's a lot. So I think this is epic timing.
I have another genre which, I asked whether to put this under quantum spirituality. And the reason why I called it that is that scientists are beginning to understand that those that live on a higher frequency of spirituality are resonating at a higher hertz, right? And so the science and the understanding of people that choose to elevate to a higher frequency is one of the same. Is the science beginning to understand? We call it maybe spirituality. But people that live on that higher frequency, that higher plane, are healthier and more equilibriumed people, right? We can't always get there on our own. We can get frequency devices, we can meditate around frequency. There's a lot that we can do, but internally, because of the foods we eat, internally, because of all the toxics that are everywhere all around us, we need the physical help to match the enthusiasm of wanting to raise our frequency. So by growing things, and this is how farmers used to do it before GMO stepped in, they would be tenderly loving their garden, making sure that they really nurtured the fields. The love and heart would go into it. That is a frequency. That is something that the plants and the felt. And so they grew more fortified. Today, everything is so fast and manufacturing on mass, mass, mass. What happens? The products become less, less, less effective because they're being robbed of the frequency and the growth. So frequency and growth is something. We are frequency. We're constantly growing in some form or other. Every living thing needs a frequency. So actually growing the mushrooms under a frequency that elevates the productivity of the mushroom simply makes sense.
Yeah, I love everything you just said, Sarah. It all makes perfect sense. And I don't know if you know that in 2022, like you're saying, the science is all catching up. In 2022, the Nobel Peace Prize was handed out for the theory that we are all connected. Like they proved that we are all connected. So when we raise our own vibration, it gets easier for everybody else. So if everybody's doing, if everybody's doing this work, all the better.
Yes.
And I just was reading an article the other day about how our life expectancy for the first time in years is going down, because like in my grandmother's day and even in my mother's day, like you said, they were growing their own vegetables in their garden. Like somebody coming along and going, hey, let's put poison on our food. That idea hadn't been, nobody thought of that yet, right? And so I was talking to Robin, Sarah's husband, this morning, and he was saying that if you look at an organic apple under Kirlian photography, it's like the apple sings. It's like it shines. Whereas you look at a normally grown or what we call normal.
What has become normal, right?
Right? A normal apple, there might be a couple little spots. And so not only here's the part that really landed for me. Not only are you getting the benefits of an apple, when you add frequencies, it's kind of like, oh, the clouds part and the angels sing. The frequencies actually enhance what's going on. Like in this particular case, in the mushrooms, like besides having the mushrooms that sing already. So there's a lot of benefit.
When you walk into a room and you're around people that have elevated, right? It uplifts you. Everything about it feels like enormous arms just embracing you. And everybody's on that wavelength and the same frequency. And, the beautiful creativity and the joy that comes from that is wonderful. Then you have somebody walk in with a low frequency, and it feels like, nails on the chalkboard or needle across the record. And it can kind of shatter it for a moment. But if the frequency is high enough, if you can't change that person's frequency because they don't want it changed, they will leave. They will leave. They can't take all that joy because they actually prefer to be miserable. And there are many people that prefer to be miserable because they've got an excuse for their life. What we have to do as human beings, and this is why this is called Your Health is Your Choice, is be proactive in what we can do for our well-beingness. What can I take that's going to make me mentally strong, less anxious, fortifies my body, changes my frequency, uplifts me as a human being so that I can ripple my frequency out to other people and uplift them. That's the proactiveness of our own health. So doing shows like this, trying products for yourself with an open mind. And remember, our cellular structure changes every 3 months. So you need to give at least 3 months chance of something for it to get rid of what doesn't work and start putting in what does work. So it isn't, oh, I tried it yesterday and it didn't work. No, it won't work with that attitude. Give it the time it needs to prove itself. Sarah?
I love that. Did you say every 30 days or 90 days?
Yeah, 90 days. 90 days. Yeah.
That. Thank you for saying that. That's so beautiful. I'm going
It's 3
to,
months. It's
yeah,
every 3. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We didn't get to where we are in our life in 1 week, and we're
No,
not going to get out of there in 1 week.
no. And the more toxic you are, the more those toxins, that not only is what you're putting in rejuvenating you, but it's got to go to work in getting rid of all the toxins out of your body. So very often people are going to feel worse before they feel better. And they
Yes.
look at it and go, but oh, it can't be working. I feel worse. No, it is working because it is getting rid of things inside of your body.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That's really powerful. I mean, I knew that from past, I've been on a health journey of my own with multiple autoimmune diseases, and I've turned them around naturally. And I know that things take time, but I kind of forgot that here, and I'll tell you why. It's because it's such a high impact product that many people are feeling big changes in one serving in 15 to 30 minutes. Not everybody, right? Marion didn't. I did. Some do, some don't. But it's so important to, so that's another reason.
And that will be because of the toxicity or the low vibration in the body before they begin to feel it. You'd already been working on yourself. So that's why you absorbed it so much quicker.
I had actually spent 9 months doing some new work, different work. I'm always leveling up. I'm always doing new things. I'd been doing, I was partway through a 9-month program when I had my first mushroom lemonade. By the way, anybody wondering, it tastes like mango lemonade. Just so you know, it does not taste like mushrooms. No,
or dirt.
Or dirt. It looks like dirt. It looks like dirt, but it tastes like mango lemonade. It tastes like Snapple. It's delicious. But I'd been doing quite a bit of work on my mind, right, and my body, through my mind and my body, and so maybe that's why I felt it in one day. But one of the things we love about this is that through the mental health conversation is that many people it's a high impact product. So many people are feeling immediate results. They stack. I'm feeling even differently now at 7 months than I did at at 7 days.
Yes.
But it's very, very good to remind people that we need to give any health shift that
Yes.
we're going to look. I just said I was partway through a 9-month program. I
Exactly.
committed to a 9-month program,
Right.
right? So we have to take it seriously and commit to it. Thank you for saying that.
You know, the thing about giving itself time, we've also got to bear in mind that unless we're growing our own vegetables, etc., we are still buying products unless you know, even organic isn't always 100% organic, right? We can do the best that we can. Buying from local farmers is always the best thing to do when you know that they're not using pesticides. We've also got to remember that in animal product feed, and in many of the other stuff, what's that pesticide called? Rota?
Oh, Roundup?
Roundup, thank you, has been embedded already in the DNA of the feed. So they may not spray it anymore, but it's there. And we are becoming chemicalized. And this is why so many people do have brain fog, because it's getting in the way of our cognitive thinking,
Mhm.
of being alert. And again, once that goes, then everything about our body goes along with it. So working on our mind in unison with working on this is going to be something that will give you that clarity that you need to
Mhm.
trust your own inner wisdom, right? Not the outside. Bah, 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 bah. You've got to, you'll only be important if you're doing this, but become at one with yourself and your own essence of who you are as a human being. But we all need help because the outside elements are still there. So it isn't something you take and go, I feel better now, I don't need to take it anymore. You now take it as a maintenance for you to continue to feel better and to be able to fight off those free radicals that are constantly trying to come in and bombard you.
It's so true. And I just want to say something to that. When people feel better, they do better. So many people are in a depression or anxiety or addiction or suicidal thoughts or PTSD. I mean, I could go on and on the umbrella of mental health. And so when we're behind the 8 ball, I'm feeling, I was feeling anxious. I was feeling irritable.
Hi, folks. We had a little faux pas there right now. Sarah, would you please continue?
Sure. And it's a kind of miracle that I can even remember what I was saying. I really thank
It's
the
the
mushrooms.
mushrooms.
But so I was feeling anxious, irritable, brain fog, unplugged. My purpose was down. I wasn't feeling optimal. And what happened was when I drank the mushrooms, the frequency charged nutrition, the mushroom lemonade, is that I felt elevated and better enough to then make better choices.
Yeah.
When a person, myself, when I'm down in the dumps,
Mhm.
when I'm stuck in a rut, when I'm off the beam or off track, that it is very hard for me to make any good choices.
Mhm.
That includes washing my hair or eating the right food. It literally sometimes includes flossing my teeth regularly. Like
Mhm.
it's a form of depression, just even if it's not classified as
Too
depression.
much effort, just too much effort,
Too
right?
much.
Yeah.
It's going to take
Mhm.
all my energy to wash
Yeah.
my hair. I just
Yeah.
can't do it, or clean my closet, or do my job that I have to do. And so what happened for me and for so many people with this product is that it elevates you to a level where when you feel better, you can do better. So
Mhm.
then you can prepare the healthier meals. You can do your self-care. You can dive more into your meditation practice or your spiritual practice or whatever it is. And so a lot of, the CEOs of the company, one of their mantras is, we help people feel good now. And when you feel good, you do good. You
Yeah.
can make better choices. So it's a powerful tool. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, Marion.
I just want to piggyback on something you said a couple of sessions ago or a couple of times ago. You said, you know what it's like when everybody in the room is vibrating at a certain vibe,
Mhm.
and then somebody walks in, and it's like, you remember Schleprock from, was it Peanuts or Snoopy or something like that? He would walk in with a little cloud, raining cloud walking over his head. So I was listening to a YouTube or a TED talk the other day, and this fellow was saying that the best way that you can level up is by doing exactly what you said, like hang around with higher
Mm-hmm.
vibrating people. He said if you hang around with 9 drug addicts for a certain amount of time, it's very likely that you're going to become the 10th drug addict. But
Mm-hmm.
if you hang around with 9 millionaires for a certain time, a certain amount of time, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I have found, like in this company in particular, I think, is that I've never met people with such an amazing sense of confidence and agency and wanting to help.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Sarah is included. Like she's my mentor. And like, how they say, how they ask you, have you ever met somebody in your life that really made a difference? Sarah is it. She's it. Like I've never met somebody that's just so kind. And I'll say, I know I'm asking this for the 10th time. And she's like, yeah, I get it. And
Well,
so,
that's
yeah,
the difference when people come from the heart.
yeah,
And, like anybody can be trained in how to say the right thing and could be robotically say the right thing,
yeah.
right? And all the words sound right and the
Mhm, right.
actions, sound right. But unless you can feel it comes from the heart, that this is something that they truly do believe in all honesty, then it's just another sales pitch. But when it's somebody that really, I want you to feel like me because I feel so good on being on this product. So I would always put it like when Harry met Sally, I'll have what she's having. Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
So when you find somebody that is on that higher frequency, that is, really wanting to share, try this plugin, it's going to make you feel wonderful, right? Then,
Right,
and you
right.
know that it really is earnestly coming from some experience they've had or they're
Mhm.
having, then it feels more authentic as opposed to somebody that's just a great speaker, but it's just words.
Mhm.
Mhm. And I
Yes.
I love so much that you said that, Marion, not for singing my praises. I mean, that warms my heart, and I'm so grateful to know you. But I was going to mention it myself. I've never, in the 15 years that I've been a full-time professional network marketer, I have never been in a community where from the very top all the way around the circle that we are all in, everyone is vibrating at a higher level, and everyone has this mission to help and be of service to others.
Mm-hmm.
That we have Zooms where the sole purpose is to connect and share what's going on for us in that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're building businesses too. Those are other Zooms.
Yes.
We have this one where we're just connecting. How are you? What's
Mm-hmm.
happening for you? How are you feeling? How can we help each other? And most of us aren't financially connected. And
Right.
I've been parts of it in other companies where there's pods of it.
Mm.
And I've always tried to bring that to the table, but not where it's the entire organization.
Right. The driving force.
It's the driving force.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's to your very first question to me. What first attracted you to Frequence is that.
Yeah. And that, as far as I'm concerned, I've been doing podcasting 12 years, 11 years with my own network, many business shows. And, people, if you want people to buy from you, they've got to buy you first. And do they feel that you really, A, know the product or B, believe in it? Right? Do you use it yourself? How has it made it beneficial for you? Because if it's really worked for you, then I'm interested in knowing what it is. And so many people go about business derived by money. You can make this money. You can make that money. That turns me off completely because if you're only chasing the money, you're not believing in the product and you're not selling the right thing. What you're selling when you come from the heart is, I want you to feel well-beingness.
Yeah.
And we all want to feel that.
Yeah.
Mind, heart, body, soul, spirit, the whole
Sarah,
of us.
that's a mic drop. I don't think I don't know that there's much to be said beyond that.
I know I was like, I need to say something. No, you don't. You're good.
I think the tides are turning. The old paradigm. I used to belong to MLM as well. And the thing is, one particular company I was involved in back in the 90s, their product saved my life. And cordyceps was one of them. And a lot of the stuff they got was from when they dug up the terracotta soldiers, they also found these recipes of old Chinese medicine, and they bought the rights to it. And the products were absolutely brilliant. Eventually, it was sold, so another company's taken over. They've adjusted it. It's not the same product anymore. But when I was on those products, I was very, very sick. And I didn't see anybody over the summer. Came to September, went to a big meeting, and it's like, who are you? And I kept putting my hand up, yeah, and this, and this, and this. And it's like, who are you? You can't be her. You've changed completely. And that's the thing when you've got somebody with the right product. And the thing is with maintaining a good product like this and maintaining a good network is when people believe in the product and believe in the reason why the company is doing it, the longevity will grow with it because there is a core belief that is rooted.
Yeah.
And from that, it will grow. But if there isn't a root, if it isn't deeply buried and fortified, then what is it going to grow into? Money will come, but you have to understand that the enrichment and the abundance lies in your well-beingness, not in your bank balance.
Yes, you just described our company.
Yeah.
And the founders and the
Mhm.
creators and the CEOs and the mission behind why they did this.
Yeah.
Where are they in North America?
They're in Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah.
And we, of course, we know, America, we're fortunate here in Canada that we do have general health. If we have luxury of a doctor, as there are over 3 million people without doctors right now, I'm one of them. And again, this goes back to your health is your choice. If you can't go to a doctor to get things, something's wrong with you, do your own research. What will help you? And I always laugh at this alternative medicine. This medicine was around for thousands of years before doctors came along. So why is it called alternative?
Yeah.
Why don't we call it original medicine? Right? Because all you've done is taken mushrooms that have been there for so long and fortifying us and just reimagined how they can benefit us by adding that frequency to their growth.
Yeah, when you just said doctors, I just about jumped out of my skin because I forgot to mention Dr. Rob. Sarah, we didn't mention Dr. Rob. So there is a doctor out of Vegas. His name is Dr. Rob. Sarah, do you remember? Martino. He is healing his patients with frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
He's started to use that as a modality. And so he's actually come on board with Frequence because he checked out what we did, loved it. And so now we have, like on our Facebook page, there's live videos of him talking about how he's healed his patients, what his thoughts are on frequencies, how he sees this as the medicine of the future, just like Einstein.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good to have that kind of backing from somebody that's like not a naturopath, but a medical doctor.
Who uses frequencies.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's actually a chiropractor who realized he could help a lot more people through the suffering of his own mother. She's diagnosed with cancer. And he realized that chiropractic wouldn't help her.
Mm-hmm.
And that he had to do something different. And that's his journey many years ago. I feel like it's 25 or 30 years ago that he got into frequency healing. So he's one of the leading frequency doctors in North America. And he has a thriving practice in Las Vegas. It's taken months and months and months to get into him. It costs a fortune. He didn't need the money. The CEOs of our company had a granddaughter born ill.
Mm-hmm.
And they sought out, because they believe in frequencies, they sought out Dr. Rob. They found him, and they drove the big distance back and forth with their granddaughter, their daughters and their son-in-law and their granddaughter. And as Dr. Rob got to know them through the healing of the granddaughter and their story, and he started to look at the ingredients, he started to look at the frequencies and how they were embedded and look at what was going on. He has said several times he couldn't not see it. He'd never been involved in a network marketing company. He had no need to financially. And it just was like, no, thank you, kind of for him, like it is for so many people. And so, but he couldn't unsee what he saw with what they were doing. And he said, finally, somebody has figured out how to get frequencies into nutrition so that people can drink them and afford to drink them and afford to get them, versus the patients seeing him in his practice, which also he still is going to forever do. but he came on board for a belief that now the masses can get their hands on frequencies. And there are other ways to get frequencies. There are other companies, but there are no other companies that get it into a nutrition that you can drink. So it was pretty exciting to have someone of his caliber say, yes, I want to be a part of this movement.
You're also going to see, I've interviewed a few doctors that have been blacklisted because they have holistically gone into helping their patients. One was ear, nose, and throat, and go, well, the reason why you're having this problem is I think you may be allergic to something. I want you to cut this out. And the person's come back and said, I don't have the problem anymore. And because of this, he got blacklisted. Hey, you're not pushing procedures. You're not pushing drugs. No, man, this is what it's about. And they said, so many doctors have said to me, the medical profession, especially in the States, has been all about sales.
Yeah.
Push, 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 not about medicine and looking after your patient. And they're looking for modalities that they can change over to and help their patients with. So, this approaching doctors on this, especially that are on that fence, would be really good because they could still practice their medicine. As a doctor, especially if they are specialized in whatever it is they do, and that benefit behind them. So yes, get out and speak to your doctors out there as well. And I think, again, back to the proof is the pudding. Be on the product yourself for a while. Document how it has helped you, where you were beforehand. What drugs or things were you on? Where was your energy level? What could you not do? And then document how it is benefiting you. Then take that proof to them.
Yeah,
So-
sorry, Sarah. When I was younger in a past life, I used to work as a medical office assistant. So I used to work for a GP, and I started asking some questions, and then I ended up with an irritable bowel. So I went, I ran the gamut from every specialist there was, and finally in the end they just said, you've got an irritable bowel, take this pill. So I came back to my boss and I said, is this the model? Like, is this the model? Like, no, because after that, I went to a naturopath. She said, okay, she food tested me, gave me some herbs. 2 weeks, I was feeling like a whole new person. So
It is the model.
it is I learned it was a big
It isn't. You've got to understand it's pharmacy that's running everything. Where I had a
Absolutely.
wonderful nutritionist on as a host on my channel for the first few years, and her thing was pharmacy, FAR.
Yeah.
Messy, right? So the healing is in the soil. It's all there, just ready to be picked. And again, you enhance it with the frequency. What you're doing is enhancing the already healing ingredient that's in there, just magnifying it. Definitely. We've got a long way to go, I think, with people that are still, and I think kind of when you look at things, they may be very frustrating, not having a doctor or, the cost of a doctor, the cost of drugs and this and that. But what it does is it pushes people to look elsewhere. Okay, you can't help me. Now I need to take my own health into my own hands, and I need to go and do some investigation, listen to some podcasts, some TED Talks, do some research, have conversations with other people. What are you doing? And, start talking about it. And as you take these products and you're feeling better, make sure you share that with your friends and your family. Because again, proof is in the pudding. If it's worked for you, then it can help them. And that's the way we're going to bring about the change in our health. We point fingers. Yes, pharmacies running, they're lobbyists, they're running everything. They've taken over, they've made healthcare as we know it, something rather stifled. But there's three fingers pointing back at us and saying, what are we doing about it? Are we being proactive? And what are we going to do about it? And I think that's, what this kind of product does. It's not only have you got the product that is going to help somebody mentally, physically, their well-beingness, but at the same time, then have the ability to turn around to someone else who's struggling and saying, give it a try. It worked for me. Hey, Sarah.
Well, and that's our mission. That's back to your original question. It's that myself, Marion, and so many people feel this is an obligation in the best sense of the word to give back to people, to shout this from the rooftops. We have a gift to offer. Some will, some won't. Like you said, open-minded. Some people just aren't ready.
Yeah.
right? Some people just aren't ready. I mean, I have had people talking to me about frequency healing for years, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And I
The
consider
seed was
myself,
planted though,
yeah, I
right?
consider myself open-minded, and I
Uh-huh.
wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So, but what we are on a mission to change the conversation. And that is so much more exciting than
Hmm.
on a mission to make a commission.
Yes.
And guess what's happening? The
Commissions are
commissions
being
are
made.
and way bigger than ever before.
Right.
And more people winning in their bank accounts, which is part of our mental health
Hmm.
and our well-being. And if
Yeah.
we have more money, we can serve more people, we can do more, we can do better with more money.
Yes.
And there are more people winning financially in this business than I've ever seen in 15 years. And I want to say, thank you to you, Sarah, for 12 years of this type of a podcast. You are practicing what you preach. You are getting the word out and the message out. You see the three fingers pointing back at you. And what makes a difference is that you're taking that and you're doing something about it, versus most people who just point the finger and they don't even see those three
No.
fingers, let
No.
alone do anything about it. So high five to you, sister. I really,
Thank
it's
you.
good work you're doing.
Every single one of us is here to contribute. That is our rent to pay here as human beings, right? We all are here to service one another, and every single one of us has a particular gift that we can do. Again, I go back to the janitor is just as important as the CEO. You walk into a building to get into that elevator to go and see the CEO in the ivory tower, but if you come across dirt, grime and this and that, your opinion has changed immediately before you get to the top there. That janitor has set the stage. So whether you are the triangulist in the orchestra or you are the solo violinist, every single person has a gift that we're here to share with each other. And if we could step into that gift and it be your meaningful purpose, it be your voice, something to get behind, then that's all we ask of you. Step up and be a part, right?
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
we may go on several discoveries along the way,
Mhm.
right? I'm doing this right now, and then I've stepped out into podcast books now. So, we never know where it's going to go, where it's take us. But that's again, open the mind and be willing to listen, learn, and apply and explore the wonderment of life and where it's going to take you. Because Marion, it's certainly taking you a few places from our first show.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I come from a mental health background. Sarah comes from a sales background, right?
Hmm.
And yet here we are meeting in the middle for this, what I call divine purpose.
Right. And I'm a person with a mental health problem. So here we go. We've got a good triangle.
Well, me
And
too on that one.
right,
Yeah.
ADD, dyslexia, and God knows
All
what
these
else.
issues.
Yeah. But that's actually a point I want to point out today. We're looking at neurodivergency today. I have a grandchild with Down syndrome. I've interviewed many, many people, both with autism and parents of autism. I'm about to interview people on Down syndrome, which is less talked about.
Mhm.
Um, but there's so many people with, challenges. I call them differently abled rather than disabled. And basically, they learn in a different way, they
Mhm.
see things in a different way, interact in a different way. And we as a society have said, but if you don't fit into this box, then you're wrong. There's something wrong with you, you're defective. Instead of looking again at the orchestra of life and all the different instruments in there, and each one of them plays their instrument from the heart in a different way, but they're all part of that beautiful orchestra, harmonizing together. Why can we not accept people for who they are? And I think when we're looking at society changing the way we treat each other, changing the way we eat, the changing the way we approach life altogether, and making sure we get that right nutrition to keep our brains in whatever function that they live in, we're going to see such a better world. I mean, I produced a book beginning of the year called Our Forgotten Children, and it's an anthology on what we're doing wrong in the raising of our children and the reason why we have so many dysfunctional adults today, because we've stifled their creativity when they're young. The next one is our forgotten seniors, because now we're dismissing the seniors and all the abundance that they've got to share along the way. So while we're nutritionally fortifying our body and mind, we need to nutritionally fortify our society as well. And that comes when we raise our frequency.
Another mic drop.
And and for me, it feels good to be a part
Yes.
of giving back my rent to pay. It feels
Yeah.
good to pay my rent. It
Yes.
doesn't feel good when I'm in the times when I'm not paying my rent.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I belong. I don't
Right.
feel like I fit in.
Mm.
And so it feels, this is because it's our God-given right. It's what we're meant to do. We're meant to
Yes.
be here to do that.
Yes.
And so it's different for all of us.
Mm.
That looks different for all of us.
Yeah.
And I just love this kind of collaboration. This is just beautiful.
But that's again back to the C word. I do not believe in competition or comparison, right?
Mm.
Uh, Apples or oranges, they're both fruits. You know, when you're trying to compare yourself against someone else, you're denying who you really are. When you're competing against someone else, unless it is actually a competition, you're again not honoring who you are and the pace you're meant to go at. But when we collaborate cohesively, caringly, compassionately together, look at how much we can achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Just like today.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it right now.
The main topic has been about frequency mushroom, but what it's rounded up about is not how it only helps our mind and our body, which also helps our soul and our spirit and our well-beingness, but it also elevates us in society, which then elevates society, right? So there is no losing here. And whether you want to just be a person that just purchases it, or whether you want to be a person and go, I really love this. I've got to tell my friends about it. I'm going to become, I don't know, do you call them reps nowadays or a networker and sell? So,
Affiliate.
affiliate, okay. And we want to sell it. Uh, we all want to be able to sell something that we stand behind. How do we take the exchange of money when we feel a bit like a charlatan? But when we believe in something because we know what it's done for us, and then there's money involved and you get it, that doesn't feel, that it's fake money. I've earned this because I've shared this and improved other people's lives doing it.
It's an exchange.
Yeah, energy exchange.
Mm-hmm.
It just
It's
in the
just an
form of
energy
money. Yeah,
exchange.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. We need those frequencies raised desperately in the world because we just look at the way we are right now. And it's that lower vibration that is, in the violence, in the hate, in the disconnect. And by raising our frequency, we are not only raising it health in our body, in our mind, but in our society, but with each other as a plane, stepping into love, which was what high frequency is all about. It's loving yourself while you're here, doing what you're doing, and loving humanity and celebrating it. And that's really what we're here. What you've got with this product is to help people physically raise their frequency, physically find equilibrium in their body, physically open up their mind and their heart, and so that they, in that well-beingness, can grow up to that higher level.
Yep.
Now, does it only come as a drink, or in what format does it come in?
The mushrooms only comes as a drink. Yeah.
Right. So is it something you add water to, or is it a whole?
Yep. You add water to it, mix it up. We have a couple of other products as well. They're all frequency charged. Every product is charged with the same 11 harmonic frequencies. So we have source minerals. We have a collagen with sleep, CBD, CBN. Can't get it in Canada. Sorry, Canadians. We have a face cream. There's a lot that is coming as well. I can't say, I can't drop hints, but there's a lot of
collagen.
incredible products coming. The formulators are very excited about what we've got our hands on. So there's going to be more. The collagen is in the sleep. It's in the sleep product, but the mushrooms is what we've been talking about today. That comes in a powder, and you just scoop it in, mix it with water, and it tastes like mango lemonade.
So good.
And just one a day?
Yep.
Morning or night, it doesn't matter.
Some people have 2 a day. There's a tiny bit of caffeine in this one. We're coming out with a caffeine-free version, pretty sure around Christmas. But so many people can't have a second one in the afternoon if they're affected by, there's just a little bit of green coffee bean caffeine. So I will sometimes have 2 a day, but I wouldn't. It's 2 o'clock now for me.
Hmm.
I probably wouldn't right now. I have my first one first thing when I wake up, 5 a.m. If I'm going to have a second one, it might be around 12 o'clock if I know I've got
Yeah,
a long day and I want that, but you don't really need it. It's
right.
pretty,
It's the extra boost if you need it.
yeah.
And, of course, a lot of people will go, oh, well, affordability, right? But, I've always say this, like when you buy good nutrition, you need less of everything
Oh,
else, right?
absolutely. And I mean, I'm not a healthcare practitioner, and so I don't give advice on what vitamins you should or should
Hmm.
not take, but it does replace the mushroom drink plus the mineral drink that we have. That if you reach out to Marion, you can learn more about all of both of those and all of it. They replace several things that are in your cupboard. And these are so absorbable. One of the things that's in the mushroom drink is also methylated B12.
Mm,
So where most of us are B12 deficient. So this is
yes.
methylated. And I won't go into trying to explain it because I certainly won't sound very smart if I do, but I can tell you this.
Layman talk, layman talk.
Most of us don't absorb regular B12. We've been taking it probably our whole lives.
Hmm.
Methylated B12 is the end result of what B12 gives us. And so we all absorb it. So we're
Hmm.
actually getting the better benefits, and that increases the energy as well. So do the frequencies, so do the mushrooms, the
Hmm.
cordyceps, but you've also got methylated B12 in there. So it definitely replaces some of your other products for sure, which makes it more affordable. And I always say this to people is that your health isn't an expense, it's an investment. And
Yeah.
I know that sounds like a sales pitch line, but it's not one. It
Hmm.
is the truth. If it feels like a sales pitch line to you, that's on you, not on me,
Right.
right? Because your health needs to be an investment, not an expense. People will go to Starbucks and buy an $8
Yeah.
drink and call it a treat. Nothing wrong with doing that, by the way. I don't have any judgment around that, and I am not perfect. But I encourage people to look at this as an investment for their health. And then if you can share enough value with the person so they understand what they're purchasing and know that there's a money back guarantee, and show them all the education around it and share testimonials and share stories, not hit them with facts and
Yeah.
ingredients,
Yeah.
but share
Yeah.
stories.
Yes.
Then most people will see this as, oh, wow, I thought it would be more expensive.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
they're looking at it as an investment, which it is.
I always say to people, you're the only one that can invest in yourself, because nobody else can invest in you like you can. And if you don't invest in yourself, then you're underselling yourself, you're undervaluing yourself, right? So it's important. And the storytelling, again, for all the business shows is, and I've been in MLMs before, and they used to come at me with a list of facts and this and that, or try and sell me a product that is just not I'm interested in. Instead of asking me questions, what are my challenges? Where am I at? And then being able to say, well, I've been using this and this is what. Again, people want to know, you're not using the product you're selling? Then, this question there, like, how can I trust that? You're not even using it, right? But when you show, look, this is where I was, this is where I am, and this is how it's changed my life. Your storytelling. You don't need to go into the facts. The facts are there for the people that are analytical, the green
Yeah.
people, and they're most likely is on the site, and you can give it to them. Look, if you want
Yep.
to know all the science, it's right there. I'm not a science talk. All I can talk to you about is how it's made me feel. And a
Correct.
story is about how you make someone feel. So
100%.
don't pitch, share.
Mm.
And you said something really smart, Sarah. You said ask questions.
Yes.
Always ask questions, because you know what? My results might not be what Sarah needs to hear.
Hmm.
So if I'm all like, what?
Hmm.
I'm
Mhm.
giving you all my story of my results because I'm excited, legitimately excited.
Hmm.
But then Sarah needed something different in her life, then I've lost you. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, that's nice for you, but not for me. And
Yeah.
so the other thing that our community does so well is we get to know one another's stories. And
Hmm.
that's something that we do on our connection calls is, what is Marion's story? What is Sarah's story? What is Sarah Troy's story? What are your stories? And so if I ask you first, How can I help you? What are you looking for? What's piqued your interest? What is your gut? What has happened for you that you're asking me? Tell me about you,
Mm-hmm.
Sarah. And you tell me about me. You tell me about you, I mean, and it's not my story. Well, I can say, wow, thank you so much for sharing. I have a friend named Marion who had a
Mm-hmm.
really similar story. And then you want to match the stories with people
Yes.
because
Yes.
we can't pretend to have everybody's
No.
story. And so that's one thing that this community does really well is we're getting to really know each other's stories, and we're leading with asking great questions
Mm-hmm.
because care about the person.
Mm-hmm.
That's just caring. Ask great questions and then share great stories, whether it's yours or somebody else's. It's really fun.
Exactly. But that's called community.
Yeah.
And if you're kind of, a representative, it's all about your sales and what you make. But when it is like, all I can do is speak from what it's done for me. However, I do know somebody who's had a similar journey to you, and that's called community, where you support each other. And they're supporting each other, everybody wins, because then somebody's then going to refer
Yes.
you when it's
Yes.
not their story.
And it's the most natural thing in the world to do. When I was a young mom, like Marion says, in another lifetime. My kids are all grown now, but when I was a young mom, we'd get together with other moms, and we would talk about all the things. And if the a baby had
Yeah.
funny color poop, well, you have a friend whose baby had the same funny color
Yes.
poop. You want to talk to my friend? My baby won't eat carrots. Well, her baby won't eat carrots, but we shared
Yeah.
as a community. This is natural. And I
Yes.
think sales, it gets forgotten in sales. And when you can
Mm.
bring it back in, a person, nobody wants to be sold to, but everybody
No.
wants to buy. People want to purchase on their own terms.
Yeah.
And so
That's why I
if
say
we
share, don't pitch,
share,
right?
yes,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, it's so
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
And this community makes that easy to do. And the product makes it like purposeful driven. I was in weight loss and beauty for years and years and years. Now I'm 57 and my husband's 45. So I like good beauty tips, and I want to be good the right weight, but I don't want to sling it anymore. I
Yeah.
don't want to sell. I'm so over that conversation and the scale and
Mm.
all the things. I want to be healthy, and there's nothing wrong. I sold amazing products, all of them. Nothing wrong with those, but I lost my passion to talk about weight
Hmm.
and skin. I lost
Right.
my passion to talk about it. Doesn't mean I don't care about it alone in my own house, but
Mhm.
I'm not passionate about it. It doesn't feel like a mission driven purpose for me anymore, but mental health does.
The thing is about weight and skin, when you have the right nutritionals in you,
I know.
your skin will glow and your body will find its own equilibrium of the weight it wants to be. So instead of pitching just the skin and the weight, it's like, again, a well-beingness of the whole of us. And when we take care of the whole of us, it takes care of us.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
true.
where we're really at. So Marion, you're obviously joined up and sold this because you like the way it makes you feel and you're believing behind this product. So ultimately, people are going to reach out to you today. So how do they reach out to you and start that conversation?
Yeah, I mean they're welcome to connect with me on my Facebook page. I think that you've put the link in the show notes. So they can
Mhm.
reach out to me on Facebook, or they can even reach me at my email if they just want to get in touch with me directly, which is Marion Baker at shaw.ca. It's spelled Marion, Marion, Baker, Baker at shaw.ca.
Excellent. And Sarah, you've got a Facebook if people want to reach out to you as well.
Yep. Best
Just
straight into Messenger.
Mhm.
Not a, I might miss a comment on a post,
right.
but straight into Messenger on Facebook. Yeah. And I
And
think,
it's under your name,
Sarah Lovely.
of course, and your name is Sarah.
That's
Lovely.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
And
um,
just to let people know, anybody that's interested and wants to sign up under me, they get Sarah.
mhm,
Like they are
right.
they are one
Well, they
degree.
get everybody in the community.
They
That's
get
right.
everybody
Yeah.
in the
Anyone.
Yeah.
community,
Yeah.
and particularly like some really hard and fast on attention from Sarah. Like she's really
Hmm.
on the ball.
You know, the thing is, we can go into something with enthusiasm. Look, it works for me, and I'm really excited, and I want to share this out. But there are techniques that one needs to know. There are approaches that one needs to learn,
Yes.
because you don't want to overbear people with your enthusiasm if they're not ready to hear it. It's knowing how to ask the right questions or how to read what that person is saying. Just, you know, you're out with people and somebody starts talking about an issue they're having. You know, maybe you don't talk about it there, but you can approach them after to say, you know, that issue is quite common. And I've been taking this product and it works, and it's knowing how. And so having the enthusiasm, but having the skills and the technique behind it as well, just makes it all a lot more organic and easy to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sarah is a master at teaching us.
So you've got the product that works. You've got the frequency that it raises. Yes,
Yes,
because we need to raise our frequency, not
we
only for our
do.
own body, but for our own frequency to be ignited. Our
Amen,
own
sister.
frequencies are low. And it's because it's fighting all the time to sustain our body. When our body is feeling fortified and those frequencies are great, so do we. We expand. And then that higher frequency, which I'm sorry for it, is the corny thing called love. When we step into love at that higher frequency, we can't knowingly harm anyone else. To do so would be to harm ourselves. And if we can get people up to that love frequency, we would have much less altercation in the world. And we'd actually step into that 1,000 years of peace that they keep talking about. Right? So let's start it at the root, in the dirt, with the mushrooms that are grown by frequencies, right? That frequent our body into optimization that helps us raise our own frequency, right? It all starts in the dirt.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Thank you, ladies, so much for sharing here today. And of course, Marilyn Baker at shaw.com.
Marion Baker at
at
Shaw.ca.
at shaw.com.
Plus,
And Sarah, lovely Sarah with an H at Facebook. Reach out to Marion to find out about the company. She obviously has her own special link, and she can direct you to that and start the conversation. But I know for a fact cordyceps work. I know that frequencies work. I know that B12 works. Right? So never mind whatever else is in there. I know these products work. And if they're all put together, then it's kind of a no-brainer as to why not give it a try and see how it works for you. Because that's the thing, you're not going to know how it's going to work for you unless you try it. Give it the 3 months where the whole cellular structure goes through its regrowth. And then you'll see the effects beforehand, but you really need that 3 months to allow the cellular structure to detox and revibrate at another level. So give it the time to work. Okay. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here today. It's been a delight having you here sharing this conversation. There's a lot that we've left with people. But again, going back to the dirt, you know, the soil, we talk about grounding, putting our feet on the ground, and the best, you know, the farmers used to lift up the dirt and go, yeah, good soil. That things will grow in here. And then we lost our way with GMOing everything, and our soil has not got the nutrition it needs anymore. So when you fortify it with the frequencies to enrich that soil in which things grow in, and then it can only be beneficial. It's a no-brainer. So thank you very much, ladies, and
Thank
to
you for
everyone.
having me,
Oh, pleasure,
Sarah.
pleasure,
Thank you for
pleasure.
inviting me, Marion. This was really fabulous.
been great, hasn't it?
Good
Yeah.
conversation. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Thank you.
There's so much we can do for ourselves, folks, if we're just willing to give something a try. All right. And until next time, folks, be well, but make sure that you are a part of your own wellness. Until next time, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tab at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration, it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.